Hello, hello. We should be live. Welcome everyone. Can everyone hear me? Test, test. Perfect. All right. Again, quite a lot to talk about, but we'll give it like 2-3 minutes, so some more people can join, and then we'll get started diving into the charts. All right. Yeah, we've seen good upside, and then an exciting buyback yesterday, but at the moment I'm not really liking what I'm seeing, but I'll explain in a second. But locally here, I think we could be in for some downsides. Everyone got excited into the highs again, and I don't like this candle, especially because often if you get a candle like this with a good buyback but it still closes red and you swept higher liquidity, then you put in the higher wick of the next candle and break below the daily open. Yeah, I mean, now you have a really clean validation on shorts on a break back above the weekly open. So I wouldn't be surprised if we at least range a bit more, you see. But I'll explain in detail in a second. Are you already in space? What do you mean with that? Hello, Manjinder Singh, Mike, and Raffle Eat. How's your day? My day is pretty damn good. The weather is nice in Belgium. I already went for a long run, so that was nice. Now checking some charts, and then we'll see. Is February high important level? Well, just because it's a monthly level, you know. And as a draw on liquidity, In my opinion, it is. Also because you see this candle barely had a wick to the upside. You see, instantly broke down. So that was a draw on liquidity. I had it marked out ever since we traded down here as a potential draw. So yeah, in my opinion, it is. You can see how pivotal it is as well, by the way. Broke above there and then held. Put in another high. Highest weekly close, by the way. We did make an all-time high on the closing basis, which is pretty damn good. So high time frame look amazing to me. But low time frame, I think we might be in for some more ranging slash downside. Hello sir, hello Mason. Any thoughts on Litecoin? We'll get into some requests later. I'll do my own thing first and then maybe we'll do some requests. I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible, just to the point, you know. Because yeah, alts are a little tricky at the moment because of the look of Bitcoin. Although I really liked the look of some alts like Hype, I really like, and Kaito, still those two. But there's both just ranging and waiting for a breakout. So I think once they get going, they will go aggressively to the upside. But yeah, they need a spark, you know. So let's see. Carmen Carcap, hello, hello. All right, 60 people watching, amazing. If you could all leave a like on the stream, that helps me a lot. Subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't already, so you get notified whenever I go live and you don't miss anything. Still trying to hit 10k subs on YouTube. It's not easy, but we'll get there. So if you could all subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Then also big thanks to Blowfin again for sponsoring the streams. They hooked me up with a really nice thing, sort of trading competition where everyone who is trading on my link is automatically participating in the competition. So all you have to do basically is trade as you normally do and you could be in for some nice prices. There's both a price for trading volume and for P&L. So if you trade some size, right, just trade as you normally do, and who knows, you get on the leaderboard here. If you trade with lower amounts or you just want to go for the P&L ranking, just make a new account under my link, deposit very little, just a small amount of money and try to run it up as high as possible, and then maybe you get some prize money from the P&L ranking. Or of course, if you don't want to, just trade as you normally do. If you trade on my link, you can also join our Discord group where I post more analysis, all of my trades live, where we're trading this public account. So check it out. All of the information is in the description if you want to join this, right? If you're currently trading on another account and you want to head over to Blowfin and you think you trade some volume, right? And you want a VIP account, simply send me a DM and I'll hook you up and we'll sort things out. Okay, so big thanks to Blowfin. Links are in the description. Check it out or not. Okay. Now let's dive into the Bitcoin chart. We'll start off with a clean chart, right? High time frame, monthly. Nothing much to update, apart from that things are looking really, really good. We made a small wick to the downside on the monthly this month and traded higher from there. Monthly candle is looking absolutely beautiful. If we close up here this month, I do think that we trade a lot higher into 130k. If we don't already trade there by the end of the month, of course. Anyways, nothing too much to update on the monthly. apart from, yeah, ideally you want to see a close above this February high. So ideally a close above here, but even if it closes below, then at that point maybe we go for this month's candle low, right? So if we close below February low, I could see in the next candle us going for this low, sweep it in there, and then potentially higher. If not, and we close above here, I think we just trade higher from here. Okay, so then on the weekly, let's see. Yeah, so this February high level, as you can see, has been pivotal also on the daily. Price broke above there, closed above there, and ever since we haven't closed back below it. So that level probably is a must hold, and I could see a sweep of all of these lows, but even then I'd like to see it very quickly and see a reclaim of this level as soon as possible. We can close below it, but as I've said before, what you want to see then is a close below, very little consolidation, and just a smash back above there within the next few daily candles. Okay, so as long as we do that, I don't think there's a reason to panic. As long as we stay above this level, okay? But apart from that, on the weekly, right, last week, yeah, was a little bit tricky. Price action on the lower time frames, but on the weekly, you see we closed very strong, then immediately, quickly wicked above previous week's open, right, and smashed back below it. What you get whenever you do that is just a really clean invalidation for shorts, a really clean invalidation for bears. If you just use this as your range high levels and this as your range low levels, then we still are against this resistance, right? And on the lower time frames, you wicked above previous week's high and broke below the weekly open. So that, for people who think that this resistance will hold, right, is a great setup to short, because their invalidation can be very close, okay? And that's also the thing on the lower time frames that is concerning me a little bit. But anyways, if you look at it like this on the weekly, right, things are still looking very strong. What I do think is a little bit sad is that we didn't go for previous month's low, previous weekly low, sorry, because we swept, as I already said, previous week's high. So from a weekly perspective, where would the next draw on liquidity be? Well, towards that weekly low, right? On the lower time frames, you'll see that's a clean low as well here. The highs got swept. This is the weekly high, but if you just take the range highs right here, those got swept. So where's the next draw gonna be? Maybe towards Monday low and last week's low, okay? So from a weekly perspective and talking about weekly liquidity, that could be the next draw. But as you can see, we retested this February high level and bounced pretty nicely right into resistance. Everyone got excited, and as you can see, we're slowly rejecting again. So in my opinion, some low time frame signs that are a little bit concerning, but that immediately gives you a clean plan in case things start reclaiming their weekly opens. Yeah, then the sky is the limit, and we're just gonna break out hard, in my opinion, and trade towards 130k over the coming weeks to months. But I think once we break out, it will go really, really fast, and it won't even take a couple months to trade towards 130k. All right. So on the lower time frames, what would that mean? Yeah, the daily, as I said at the start, right? So on Sunday, right, we had this massive close, but look how beautiful, flat daily low, right? I said it multiple times, what you want to see is prices run away from them, but as they get closer towards the flat bottom, it becomes more and more likely that you're gonna be taking it out. And that's what happened here, right? You got this ugly rejection. Let's see on the hourly. Yeah, you swept the highs here. You swept the highs here and then started rejecting pretty ugly. So the closer we got towards that flat bottom, the more likely it was that it was gonna get swept, right? So that's what happened. We took it out. From there, what happened then? So it took out that liquidity below that flat bottom, huge buyback, okay? That's this buyback on the 4 hour. So back up, right? Everyone got excited here again, but like I said, if you look at it from a weekly perspective, what was the level we had to break above? Well, first one, obviously, the weekly open. Well, I'll say first one, last week's high, but more importantly, the weekly open, right? And as you can see, price ran in there. So this is last week's high. I can mark it out like this as well. Daily, weekly, previous week's high and low. And as you can see, that weekly open and previous week's high are lining up nicely. So that's key resistance, right? And gives you a clean validation on shorts. So we ran in there. What you wanted to see if things were really bullish and were looking like they were going to break out, or if you wanted to see a breakout, was just a straight smash above here, a close, maybe a retest, but then strength from there and continuation to the upside. And instead, what did we do? We pumped straight into resistance, into the weekly open and previous week's high. We got rejected, bam, and then even more concerning, broke below today's daily open, and now we're just seeing some downside. So I wouldn't be surprised, right, if we at least test some lower levels, close the daily here, then wick below it again, go for higher liquidity, and just chop everyone up until they're done trading this, and then we break it out, right? Maybe even wick Monday low, right? What I could also see is, for example, we go for Monday low here, do this, reclaim again, and then front run, everyone waiting for previous week's low to get swept, right? But then this liquidity being enough for us to trade here again, some more chop, and then ultimately the breakout into new all-time highs. All right. Anything else? That's basically it for me on Bitcoin. So yeah, what I was saying about this daily candle, right? So what you get with candles that get bought up like this, but still close in the red, you very often get what we're seeing right now, which is upside immediately from the close, because people think, whoa, the buyback is huge, it's gonna break out. So immediately from the open, price shoots up, but tests that resistance, and then you start rejecting, break below the daily open, and at that point the entire week gets filled. So I wouldn't be surprised if this trades back towards Monday low, maybe even previous week's low, and then we see strength coming back in, more ranging from there, and then maybe the breakout to all-time highs. All right. And what I've also said before, right, is the closer you get to all-time highs, the uglier the price action on the lower time frames is going to be, because people are aping into longs because they think we're gonna break out to new all-time highs, but then they get used as liquidity, and then prices reject again, they get stopped out again. I mean, you're just gonna get messy price action. But what you also gonna have is you get close to all-time highs, and bears, or people who are bearish, people who are looking for shorts, are gonna have a clean invalidation. It becomes more and more dangerous to enter shorts the more we test these all-time highs. But especially after a move like this was basically the first test of these all-time highs in quite a while, right? The first test, it's very unlikely that you just smash through. So I wouldn't be surprised, maybe something like this, right? A bit more ranging, then maybe even you go for another sweep, right, of Monday high, sweep some liquidity here, but this holds back down again, back to the lows, and then you break out, right? So be patient. I would say if you're not experienced in trading this, the easiest way to benefit from conditions like this is just to hold spot. And even for me, it's still the easiest trade, the easiest way to make money is just holding my spot, targeting much higher, and not bothering by low time frame price action. All right, is that clear for everyone? So I think that's everything I have for Bitcoin. Any questions? All right, I guess that's clear. So as I said, yeah, purely for trading setups, right, on Bitcoin, it's difficult. You know, people claiming that it's easy, like it's difficult for everyone. And especially as you get closer to all-time highs, as I said, price action becomes really really ugly. And sometimes it's easier to play altcoins, but what you get then is exactly the same. You get excited as altcoins heat up a bit, as Bitcoin trades closer to all-time highs. Those altcoins start looking really good. You enter longs, and then Bitcoin does this, right? And all your altcoins reject. You get stopped out of 5 longs and you're down 50% on your account, right? So what I can say is, for Bitcoin, for example, is try once, right? Maybe twice, but not more. So if you want to go for a breakout long and you think, for example, this is the moment that we're gonna go for a breakout and we are gonna run for all-time highs, okay, I'm gonna enter here. I'm gonna choose my stop, right? Maybe below previous week's low. So I'm allowing for price to sweep Monday low. Maybe you decide to put it even lower to allow for a sweep of previous week's low. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. But what I would do then in that case is just set it and forget it, because you're gonna get price action like this. You're gonna close here and think it's over and it's gonna do this. But then price is gonna sweep liquidity and bounce back. It's gonna shake you out of your position if you wanna manage it based on price action. So just set it and forget it, right? And either close in profit or wait for your stop loss. Manage your risk. Be comfortable with the amount you're risking to your stop loss. Already think about the amount you're going to lose if you get stopped out, and go from there, right? Because what you see a lot of people do is they FOMO long here. They think that price is gonna break out. So they put a really tight stop, right? They target there. Then price starts rejecting. They see their red P&L and they're like, this isn't looking good. This is likely going for the lows first. So they flip short, boom, right? Stop above the highs. Then price sweeps local liquidity and it starts bouncing, trades into here again, maybe goes for a sweep of Monday high and rejects again. I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? So don't be that guy. Try once, maybe twice, and go from there. So for me personally, I'm not interested in looking for longs nor looking for shorts on Bitcoin, for a simple reason that I'm in spot. So if we break out from here, I'll be very happy with my spot gains. If you have less spots, it makes sense that you're a little more aggressive on margin, right? And are aggressively looking for longs. In that case, do as I just said and wait for key liquidity, enter try once, set your stop loss and forget about it. Right? Well, do whatever you want, but I feel like especially for beginner traders, but also for experienced ones, you know, especially with the price action that we get here, it's not gonna be easy. So that's how I would play it. So for low time frame price action right here, I would say your best bet is gonna be if you start reclaiming the daily open here, right, and you start consolidating right here. Yeah, then the chances of us doing this increase a lot, in my opinion. I feel like if we want to trade lower, it should be from here. So maybe we just closed the 4 hour like 50 minutes ago. So maybe go for that flat top, right? Go for the daily open retest and then trade lower from there. That could be a low time frame scenario that I could see. On the hourly, what would that be? Yeah, as you can see, some low time frame highs there, supply there. So maybe sweep that liquidity, that low time frame liquidity, reject, trade back here, and then downside into here, and maybe even into Monday low. If not, if you do this and you start consolidating here and you see price grinding higher, then I wouldn't feel too comfortable in shorts. Then I'd rather flip long and target new all-time highs. Where would I first start looking for longs? Well, as I said, either above, with strength above the daily open, but ideally above the weekly open and previous week's high, or probably on the sweep of Monday low. If you see some low time frame price action like this into this consolidation, that could work as well, but the ideal scenario would be a sweep of Monday low, but not sure we get it. Could just mean, like I said, the reasons I just gave with clean invalidation for bears and price rejecting at the weekly open and at previous week's high doesn't mean I'm targeting a lot lower, you know. It just means that I don't think we're ready for all-time highs yet. So just more chop, you know, more chop, more ranging, and yeah, we'll see. All right, so that's enough for Bitcoin. Let's do some altcoins next. We'll start with the two altcoins that I've been trading a lot, but haven't really made a lot of profit on them, for the simple reason that they're simply ranging, right? And I'm looking for a breakout play, and I think they will break out eventually. The only question is when, you know. The first one is hype, obviously, and for hype, high time frame, as you can see, it's pretty obvious. This was a target for me, and then after that, it's off to these all-time highs right here. And I do think this is the consolidation that leads to the move to all-time highs. Now the question is it gonna be from here, or let me remove those levels, or if you'd simply check what range we are trading in, I would say the highs are fairly difficult, but probably these ones, and the lows, these ones. So I could also see a scenario where we do this, break lower, sweep that liquidity in there, then reclaim, and then slowly make our way into acceleration into all-time highs. Honestly, if I see the look of it right now, I think that's even the most likely scenario. Yeah. So, but that's definitely gonna be one to watch. Fairly new coin, so should have some clean price action. So if we get a sweep of those lows, I'll definitely be looking to re-enter. I am in longs at the moment, as I thought, right? If you look on the daily, this was that key resistance consolidation area, pivotal area, whatever you want to call it, as you can see right here, where we broke above, retest, and saw continuation. So I thought this sweep was gonna hold, and would send us a lot higher. But yeah, as you can see right now, it's not looking too hot. Bitcoin not looking too great as well, so I'll have to reconsider. But once this starts breaking back above, I'd say here right now on the 4 hour, and does something like this, I think we will break out and trade a lot higher. So definitely one to keep an eye on. So that's hype, one to watch. Second one, Kaito, similar vibe, you know, new coin, similar move, but to the lows, swept all of the lows, aggressive move back inside the range, now consolidating around weekly or daily, whatever range mean, right? Highs, lows, highs got swept, but still got those equal highs up here. Lows got swept here, but still got those equal lows right there, right? So ugly ass price action on the lower time frames, and it's a weird as fuck coin that moves so strange, right? Sometimes when Bitcoin is going down, this starts pumping out of nowhere. I don't know where it's coming from, but what I do know is that I really like the look on the daily, right? Where we pumped, started consolidating now, broke above resistances, and I think the draw on liquidity is definitely resting to the upside. This high right here, unswept, and all-time highs right here, also unswept. So I think that's the next stop. Once again, upside, consolidation, and I think this is the consolidation that leads to ultimately to the break to all-time highs. We are gonna have to be patient, and possibly we do this, right? Sweep the lows again, so risk accordingly, be ready for whenever it comes. Maybe it does this, right? Anything can happen, of course, but those are two coins that I am actively watching, and I am looking to play towards their all-time highs. It's often, you know, when in a cycle that newer coins move more aggressively than older coins, and I think these two will be to watch. So yeah, right. Any more questions? Let's check the chat real quick. You think equity's bottom is in? If not, we go much lower. If you mean this bottom, I do think so, yeah. I don't think we revisit these lows. To join your Discord via Blowfin, what? All the info is in the how to join channel. So if you want to join, just go to the Discord. You can join for free. You just won't see any channels except for the how to join and the UID channel. So check the how to join channel and it's all there. No worries, Manchinder. I appreciate that. Which when I'm home. Alright. Is Litecoin going for 80s? I hope not. But it could. Oh wait, for 80s. Wait, let me check. You trade full time? Yes, I do. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Litecoin, but it's very weak. Let's see. It's not looking too bad. I mean, it tested resistance, you know, the first resistance, so it's normal. We see a little pullback, but as you can see, weekly flat top, well, fairly flat, and swept last week's low into the area where we broke out of. So maybe a little lower together with Bitcoin, but I think fairly good chance that you see a bounce there. Maybe not to all-time highs, maybe not to new highs above here. Although I like all of these highs, honestly. That's gonna be a draw on liquidity. So maybe something like this, and then from there, watch some key levels, and if they get reclaimed, why not, you know? ETH. Yeah, so Ethereum, I posted in this Discord yesterday that I quite liked the look of it when it was sweeping the lows right there, right? You had these lows, these highs, the lows got taken into this. So I liked it, and then it traded up there. So as long as this holds, why not do this? High time frame look absolutely beautiful. Gonna remove these as well for now. I'm not sure what that is. What was I saying? Yeah, for this one, what I expected was for this not to stop before testing this weekly range mean. And why? Because I felt like a lot of people were gonna short liquidity above here into this consolidation, but I felt like there was gonna be way more liquidity resting above here into this consolidation. So I thought we were gonna do this and then maybe reject and range for a long time, or see some downside. So that's also the reason why I think that this could be the low win that leads to more upside towards 3K, and that we slow down from there. There we'll have to see, you know. If it does something like this and we break above here, yeah, then I think all-time highs on the weekly. But yeah, for now we'll have to see. What price of Bitcoin do you think we will see in the next bear market? I have no clue, man. But if you just check like roughly what the previous retraces were, 83, 76. Yeah, it will depend on how high Bitcoin goes, of course. Yeah, I have no clue, honestly. Like if we top here, then I could easily see this go back to like 60K, somewhere around there. But it's difficult to say right now, right? And the question is also, why do you want to know? Why do you need that information, right? It doesn't matter. You'll see when price start rejecting, right? And when you are trading downwards, yeah, then you realize we are back in a bear market, and then you can start making a plan to buy back, or to buy if you didn't sell, or to hold. I don't know what your plan is, you know. I'm in spot right here. I will scale out a bit around 130 and hold the rest for way higher. If we top there, like I am ready to hold for another 10 years on the other part that I'm not gonna sell at 130K. So if we top there and we start rejecting, I'll probably buy back below 70K if I can. And if we keep grinding higher, yeah, then so be it. Xiao Kaito is once again with a weak Bitcoin. It's holding up fairly strong, I would say, compared to Hype, at least. Yeah, Hype is sad. I was targeting these highs as a first target on my longs from where was it? I'm underwater right now. from there. Could still go for them, but I don't like that we're breaking back below these lows. Right, the closer we get to this, the more likely we take it out, and at that point I think we take out this and this as well. But we'll see. Could reverse here, and if Bitcoin starts reclaiming, then this will fly as well. So we'll see. How much leverage do you use? As much as I can. But leverage doesn't matter, right? Alright guys, that's gonna be it for today. Gonna keep it short. As I said, I covered what I wanted to cover. Did Bitcoin, did some altcoins. Let's see what the market gives us now, but take it easy, be patient, right? The market isn't going anywhere. You'll have plenty of opportunities to catch a trade, so don't rush it. If you like the stream, leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube, that helps me a lot. And if you want to join my community, my Discord group where I talk a lot more about charts and stuff, check the link in the description. Make an account on Bluefin. I'm not asking for much, simply make it your trading account, test the exchange for a bit, trade on my link, and we'll sort things out. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. My DMs are open both on Twitter and on Discord. If you cannot DM me on Discord, by the way, it's your settings, but you should be able to DM me. So yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.